Yes, sir. What's up, guys?
Yes. This DJ will kick the floor in 3, 2, 1. On the troll.
Hello and welcome. That thing is not gone. It is just not gone. Still there. I know. I know that people are excited that some people are excited that it's. I don't know. You know, when I was buying that thing, I never thought that people would look at it like that.
Now it's getting awkward. Now, initially, I didn't think much of it. I'm like, it's like a radio gimmick, right? It's like
It is a radio gimmick.
I'm like, people are complaining about it. It's gotta go.
No, those people. One person.
One person.
Well, if you do not know what we're talking about, stay like that. Welcome to Mzansi Reality. We are back again. It's that time, and it is the night of doing things. We do things in the right way here. We have stories, but it's just an update of all the stories around the cases that we are looking at currently. Not limited though. We might be jumping onto others. But for now, this is what we need to update you on. And please enjoy as always. And we are grateful for the support that we are seeing. It is difficult, the times of electricity and all that. And we are hearing some of the advice that we get from our subscribers, which would say, please put this at this time. And we are trying to accommodate everyone. But if we miss you, or if we do not seem to be following you, it has nothing to do with the hate. We just have to follow certain procedures. And eventually, we will go live. But for now, we are just going to do it the way we do it. Emily, greet our people. This is Mr. Anonymous. For those who do not know me, greet our people.
Hi guys, welcome back to the Mzansi Reality YouTube channel. Yes, we are continuing with covering some of the details around the cases that we are talking about. Now, first on the lineup is G4S. Apparently, it's having some kind of trouble in Gauteng in particular, where they're even thinking of retrenching about 100 employees.
Yes.
So it is alleged by a source that the security company G4S lost a contract in Gauteng, and the Department of Correctional Services cut ties with the security division following the fact that some of their employees were involved in aiding Bester's escape. Now,
so is that the reason why this person is dishing them out now? This other company that they were working with?
They are saying it's because of that and the fact that some of the staff of G4S was involved in the escape, but G4S is denying that. They are denying it. We'll find out later how they are denying it. Embattled security firm G4S has issued a Section 189 letter confirming what it calls a precautionary measure related to the loss of a contract in Gauteng. G4S management is believed to have met with a union representing some workers after the company sent out a notice warning of pending dismissals. So according to the 2-page letter seen by Eyewitness News, the company's security division is thinking about the retrenchment of close to 100 security officers. The letter said the process stemmed from the context of the company's financial, economic, and structural needs. In other words, there's a loss of business. There's a loss of business for G4S. So closely placed sources confirm that G4S recently lost out on a contract with a Gauteng-based company, while G4S Secure Solutions admitted the Section 189 letter was sent out less than a month ago. So a spokesperson for the company said it only impacts 87 employees, and the spokesperson denied the cancelling of the contract, that it had dented business profits. So he said, or he or she said, the spokesperson for this company, it is not unusual for contracts to be reviewed in our sector. G4S South Africa continues to experience strong growth. You know, the hope is still there and is creating significant new employment opportunities. So in 2022, G4S created 500 new jobs and is on track to surpass that in 2023, having already created 254 new positions this year, the spokesperson said. So G4S, which employs about 9,000 people, is also in hot water for bungling the Mangaung Correctional Center contract with the Department of Correctional Services following the brazen Thabo Beste escape. So, because of the escape, it's starting to affect their business elsewhere, allegedly. So the Department of Correctional Services has cut ties with G4S prison divisions after some G4S employees were exposed for their part in the scandal. So the implicated employees have either been suspended or dismissed by G4S, including former employees now facing criminal charges at the Bloemfontein Magistrates Court. But the latest Section 189 process, currently in consultation stages, is not believed to be linked to the Beste Saga. So in the letter, the company said it hasn't taken a final decision on letting go of staff yet, but hoped the consultative process with the organizing union, South African Transport and Allied Workers Union, would be finalized by mid-July, and a second round of consultations is expected to take place soon. So in my opinion, hearing all of this, business is not quite business as usual anymore for G4S.
That's what you're thinking.
In my opinion.
Okay. So what am I thinking on my side? Definitely, I must come in here. So this is what I think is happening. The market is gonna be very difficult from now on going forward for G4S. Reason being, everything that happens in this economy of South Africa is too connected when it comes to the business and when it comes to, so when you deal with government stuff, when you think you are dealing with government stuff, you might find yourself having to deal with competition, which is very high in South Africa. We're talking about companies that are probably a lot of security companies that are direct competitor to this company. A threat is happening. So there is a company that is very big that is obviously waiting to take the chance that G4S has, which is quick cash just to maintain the prison before we talk about anything else. So now you look at what is currently happening. It's a name that is seemingly being dragged along the Baxter saga that is perpetuating everyone's insecurity about the system itself. So some companies that might be gullible are going to react to that, which one can argue that there is private side of it and there is a public side of it. Right now, they were dealing with the public side of it, which one might argue that it comes with a lot of corruption.
Allegedly.
It's allegedly. Obviously, it's allegedly. But, I mean, we are told day in and day out through the news that so-and-so has a case to answer for from in terms of the public side.
Yes.
We can say allegedly. And then going further to look at G4S as a private entity working with other private entities. On a normal day, it shouldn't have went to that point of them having to retrench people because of that. Because this happened, there is, let me put it like this, a case of Baxter breaking open, meaning that if there is mastermind behind it, that mastermind or those masterminds are pinpointed, it could help the image of the company itself.
G4S.
But right now we are sitting in a case that is very closed by seeing the main people that were forefront we are still having that belief that there is more to this case. So because of that, this company then is not cleaned. So once the case busts open, then the company is going to be able to get jobs. And because once it busts open, it moves away from being the issue of G4S. It becomes maybe a certain political party that becomes the face of that. Right now, G4S and the prison itself has become the face of this without anyone politically being implicated or what. So that is the problem.
But the problem also comes in with their reputation. It's not good.
Hence, I'm saying that what makes this case be narrowed, if, for example, I'm just making an assumption, and it's not to say that it does exist anywhere else. If, for example, G4S was to come and say, Mr. Anonymous, who's affiliated with this political party, is the one who was the mastermind of this thing, then that makes G4S a company that is showing integrity and doing all the things in the right way. That ticks the box, and then they go back to the private business and they are able to operate properly. And that would excite most private businesses because their cry is that there is corruption. But if you are found to be in what they may perceive as in cahoot with such and maybe not revealing more, they end up blaming you. So therefore they say,
allegedly.
Yeah, we have an idea that our economy is run by private companies. When I'm saying run by private companies, I'm talking about the fact that financially we need private companies to absorb people for employment and all that. We rely on them to actually have money in circulation. And so that means they are in charge of the economy. That's why when they say that we are pulling out those investors, the so-called investors, our economy would become destabilized. Because we are not solely relying on the government side. We are mostly driven by a private side. And we are a mixed economy, by the way.
Yeah.
By that being said, seemingly now we are predominantly more on the side of capitalism than anything else. So you expect things like this to impact and have a lagging consequence going to private institutions and all those things.
Yep. Unfortunately.
Yes.
So it's a difficult time, but it's a big corporation. They'll work themselves out of it somehow. So moving on to the next story, you guys can let us know what you think about this new development regarding G4S. So the next story is that we got an exclusive from Griselda Lewis this morning, or was it during the day?
Yeah.
I don't know, I'm not sure. But Dr. Nandipa has filed appeal papers and says that the High Court erred and misdirected itself. So no evidence who sought her consent to return to South Africa and to whom it was provided. So she's saying that they didn't get consent from her to come to South Africa.
All right.
Contradictions about her return to South Africa. Court didn't make order on conduct of SAPS and Home Affairs. So she wants the conduct of Home Affairs and SAPS as they were transporting her from Tanzania to South Africa to be investigated. She wants the court to make an order to look into that.
Okay.
Nandipa, even if the court, that's basically it in summary. And someone said, Nandipa, even if the court finds you were arrested unlawfully in Tanzania and releases you, you will still be arrested the moment you get released, as charges against you won't go away. At this point, you're supposed to prepare for the upcoming trial and stop the nonsense. But I don't think she's going to stop it. Okay.
As we allegedly heard that they are filing for further. What I'm going to say here is gonna be a bit different. So I said initially this case was won partially,
Yes,
but
you
I
did.
don't think that it was won entirely. This case of dismissing this whole thing because of extradition. When the judge was handing down the judgment, there were specific things that were said, such as there is an element of extradition in the mix, right?
Yes.
This is a judge who, being a judge is difficult actually, because what could have happened if you look at it, if this judge went on and say that, yes, you are right, there was a problem with extradition, therefore, according to our laws, you should walk free. That would have tainted the judge in a sense. As much as you would like to believe that the law should take its course regardless of the situation, there is always a balance of politics between. Because as a judge, you also aspire maybe to become something very big eventually. And such judgments and such rulings can actually have a bearing in where you are going. So in a sense, this judge said, fine, yes, you are correct. There was an extradition, but I would still say that you were willing participant of that. Mm-hmm. And that willing participant also is not, and there is no supporting from her side and from the other side, because it's what I said, it's what you say versus what I say. I'm the state, I say it. Why does it make it correct if the state says it? If the state says, I said I wanted to go home, why is it correct? Why does it outweigh what you are saying as a citizen? Those are the things that you have to look at. In that judgment that was handed, you have to look at things like that. As much as we were not there. The question that remains the problem, why were our police there? What was the purpose of them being there? Because one might say, I was there because Baxter was there, was arrested. Baxter that didn't have papers. Baxter who's still going to come and say, I'm not Baxter, maybe. So
had an American passport.
That still leaves the question of why were they there? There was a bit of chaotic way of doing things, and they rushed into doing some of these things. There is a bit of recklessness when it comes to these things, and you have to look at that without having that in your presence. You won't be able to actually judge. So what the judge did is say, I'll rule in favor of state for now, but you can still come to me and file for an appeal, an application to go a bit higher. I will grant you that. That is not something that is, it's an open-ended thing.
How so?
You can still come back and I'll grant you. It's like,
yes.
I don't want to be the one who's going to make that judgment.
Yes, that's true. He didn't actually make a judgment, but it was a judgment.
Exactly.
Dismissed with cost. But it also had an element in it of saying you do have a case.
Exactly. As he specifically said, indeed, there is an element of extradition there.
Yes. It wasn't a deportation. He even described it.
Because of the fact that there is
extradition. And he's saying for the mere fact that you said you had to hand over, you had to be there for the handover, you're talking about an extradition.
Yes, yes. So,
but it was not done.
I'm not going to be the one to make that ruling. For now, you are losing. And I said it. And people thought, but I'm telling you, there is there's a strong case that is going to follow.
I dread that.
That's my thinking. you win the small battles, you lose the bigger ones.
I dread that. But I guess somehow it's also a blessing for us spectators or the public to learn and to learn some of the things we would never get a privilege of learning about. I mean, the fact that she has the money to exercise and stretch the law is actually maybe beneficial to some of us to see that things are not really done properly, allegedly.
One can argue that things were not done properly.
It seems like it's a norm that things are not done properly. I mean, we are seeing with other cases.
Yes.
And it's a habit, unfortunately, that needs to be paid attention to.
So brace yourself up if you thought that this round
is far
was
from over.
I heard from the judgment, and I was not at ease when I heard that judgment. That
it wasn't straightforward.
It's a judgment that leaves a lot to be desired. As much as it was quick and all that, but I can tell you, the next one is not going to be that easy.
And I guess it will prove one thing that we've always been suspecting. Her journey with this case is proving that the law is money.
Yes, the law is obvious. Law is money. You
can go as far as you can with the money you have.
Exactly. That's what law is.
That's law.
Because if you cannot appeal,
in
appealing, there's always financial cost.
Yes.
So if you cannot appeal, then you are out. That outcome, if it favors you, good for you. If it doesn't, well, sorry for you.
And it's for all of us, not just for people who are accused. For all of the people who somehow find encounters with the law, you have to have the funds so that you fight your fight.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So you guys, moving on to another story. Did you guys know that Twala has been missing allegedly for the past 6 months?
Yes.
I was shocked to find this out from Zimoja today. And some of the details regarding it, it's very, very shocking. So even after his father, Chicco Twala, did not know where he was. So Chicco Twala didn't know where Longwe was for the past 6 months. Allegedly. So a 6-month search for missing former child star Longwe Twala has finally borne fruit. Longwe, the son of Chicco Twala, legendary musician and movie producer, ran away from home in 4 ways. He left home just before Christmas last year and left his father fuming. Allegedly, he was back in the streets. It was rumored that he was living in the streets near a dump in 4 ways. At the time, Zimoja tried searching for him, but it was in vain. So Zimoja is saying that they tried to look for him. I'm sure they wanted commentary or an opinion from him with regards to the Senzo Meyiwa trial or something, but they couldn't find him. So a source says Longwe had gone back to using substances. Now, Longwe told Zimoja that he was no longer interested in staying with Chicco. He said his father liked controlling his movements. He said that he had been to rehab more than a dozen times and found that the rehab is not like his father's home, which is like jail. So he's actually comparing his home, living with his father, to a jail. How ironic is that? A source whispered to Zimoja. So another source said that his dad tried everything in his power to help him. And according to the source, the legendary producer and singer Chicco Twala has given up on Longwe. He is not even ashamed to talk about it. He has tried everything in his power to help Longwe, but he can't compete with his addiction, added the source. So this week, Chicco Twala told Zimoja that Longwe is in Glen Vista, south of Joburg, where he now stays with his mother, Thembi Twala. Chicco and Thembi have since divorced. Chicco and Thembi have another son, Twala, who is producing movies with his father, Chicco. So a source says that the police have also been looking for Longwe since December, since he is a state witness in the Senzo Meyiwa case, which sits at the North Gauteng High Court in Pretoria. So they've been looking for him, the police, allegedly, since December That's the time that he disappeared, allegedly.
In a nutshell, we are hearing that Longwe is going to become part of the state witness. Is that what we are alleging?
Those are the whispers, allegedly.
It will be very interesting. One thing that I'm anticipating to see is that, and I will tell you why.
Why?
I do not think that, judging from what I'm hearing, is this is a man who would like to sit still in one place. That therefore takes away time to actually go through anything that you need to go through. And that makes you a person who's open to say what exactly happened. Do you understand? It's not someone who's going to have time. It's not someone who's going to have, let's sit down and chill and have tea and you know, going through this thing several times. You know, I'm not going to say things here, but I'm just saying that I'm happy that if this man is going to be a state witness, I think he's going to be the most credible person ever to come and testify. Not to say others were not. It's alleged, but there's a lot of noise behind others before they even testify. So I think if this guy is part of the state witness, it'd be interesting to actually see what he says and looking closer or listening closer to what he's going to say, because from what I'm hearing, he's a guy who doesn't want to be sitting in a jail environment. So that means that this person is not going to be interested in having chit-chat with anyone for that long. You're going to have to deal with it at court if there's something that you're going to need to have to object. I would expect a lot of objections if it's part of the state witnesses.
Objections from?
From the state. I don't expect a smooth testifying if that is going to happen. I anticipate.
The police have been looking for him since December.
Exactly. That's someone who doesn't want to be found like that. That's someone who doesn't want to
be controlled.
So that is a spirit that we are looking for.
Yes, that will make a credible witness.
Someone who's gonna just let go everything.
Yeah, be free.
It is not to say that no, anyone was not credible. Everyone is credible at their level.
Yeah.
But I think for me, for my level, this one is gonna do better.
You think so?
If he's part of the state witness.
You think so?
Yes.
Now I'm just concerned about the level of sobriety. It's concerning.
Look, as long as the man is alive, the man can see, can count 1, 2, 3, that man is fine.
Okay, we'll see what happens when he comes in.
Anything that is said about in terms of his sobriety, it depends on what you heard. If the man says, I'm fine, I'm good to go, I believe that. I do not have to believe anything else.
Umzwile eti rehab was better than Ikaya. Sure.
It's alleging the paper.
Allegedly. When he was asked, like, rehab is better than home.
Look, I'm happy. I'm happy for the state of things that are happening right now. Where they are, I would like to see them be where they are until he goes to testify. Then after that, you can sort out things, decide where he wants to stay. But I'm happy if he can go like this to testify.
He's been away from his father for 6 months. Sure.
Not only his father, he's been away from the noise.
The noise also.
And from the case itself, I would like to believe.
Yeah, he hasn't
been
maybe
divorced.
been watching the current dramatic testimonies.
You never know where your luck will come from. So when there's a gift of something somewhere, you take it. I believe he's going to be the most credible person.
Let us hope. until the next one, you guys, tell us what you think in the comment section down below. Ziyakhala ngampela. So until we see each other in the next upload, it's bye. And please don't forget to like the video, comment, and also subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. There's quite a percentage of y'all who are watching and you're not subscribed. Why?
It's called binge watching.
Why?
Right. We trust that the Mzansi people will do the right thing. Those who are not subscribed, those who have been unsubscribed, they will subscribe again and like. Thank you very much. Bye.
Thank you, guys. Bye.